Well, I'm delighted to be joined by the power of Zoom by Helen Enright. Helen, you are the COO and CEO of Trafalgar Theatres. That's quite an enormous task, the two jobs. How long have you been working with Trafalgar Theatres?
Well, so I joined Trafalgar Entertainment Group when it first started back in 2016. So I'm the Chief Operating Officer of the group, and I'm the Chief Executive of the Venues division, and I've been doing that for the last few years now.
And the
So yeah.
recent announcement is that you've now formed a partnership with Eastbourne Council and are looking after the quarter where the major theatres are. So you now have the Congress Theatre, Devonshire Park, and the Winter Gardens.
Two, yes, we have those three. Yeah, since April this year, we took those three over. Really, really excited, and excited to be bringing lots of amazing shows to Eastbourne. So including Fiddler on the Roof, which has had a sellout, an amazing sellout run at Barbican, and we'll be touring, coming, including Eastbourne, and other lots of other shows that we produce in house and third party shows as well that we will be presenting at the Congress in Devonshire Park and Winter Gardens.
The great thing is that you've got three very different venues there. The Congress is an enormous, what would once have been called a lyric theatre, and is capable of taking major touring companies, the big West End shows that a lot of our smaller South Coast theatres simply cannot accommodate.
Yes. No, that's right, and that's part of the excitement of these three venues is that they are all very different, and so we can program them in a complementary way. So the Devonshire Park, of course, it has a fantastic award-winning panto, which is very well supported, and produced by Chris Jordan and in-house by the Eastbourne team, so it's great. And also mainly plays at the Devonshire Park, given its capacity, sort of eight to 900 capacity. And then you've got the much larger scale Congress Theatre, which is absolutely perfect for large scale musicals like Fiddler on the Roof, Top Hat, Chorus Line, etc. Those much larger scale musicals, as well as other sort of events too. And then the Winter Gardens, which is mainly about music events, primarily music and comedy.
The
Just three
Congress,
very different.
the Congress is just under 1,700 seats. That's a major
It's,
venue to be filling on a regular basis, isn't it?
it is, and it's more than that standing. I mean, it's over 2,000 standing capacity as well. So yes, it is. It's very like we very much see it as a sort of sister venue to the two venues that we run in Southend. So the Cliffs Pavilion and the Palace in Southend. So one being very much the lyric theatre, the musical theatre, much larger scale, and the other being much more about plays and more intimate, more intimate, maybe spoken word, those sorts of productions. But a great compliment for sure.
The Congress has recently had a massive refurbishment and is looking very, very smart.
Very smart.
It
Yeah, indeed.
must be very nice to be now working in a theatre which is at that point in its life because it had become a little tired. It was a beautiful space that had sort of outlived its tech, should we say.
Yes. Yeah, and that is very exciting. A lot of money has been invested, and so we're coming in, we think, at the ideal time. And there's a great team there. There's a great team there already. So it's really just building on the work that's already been happening in Eastbourne to try to get even more world class, top level content going through those venues. I mean, that's our main objective. And because we produce so much ourselves, so much in house through our various production activities, we're really very well placed to be able to do that and to stimulate that flow of content. But that's our main strategy because actually, what the Eastbourne venues do, they already do brilliantly in any event.
One of the most exciting things I saw in your future programming is that your co-production with Chichester Festival Theatre of Top Hat is coming to Eastbourne. Now, I saw it in Chichester a few weeks ago, and I have to say I gave it a 5-star review. It is the most delicious piece of entertainment, and one that anyone who loves good musical theatre has to go and see. I mean, the people of Eastbourne are very lucky to be getting that, aren't they?
Very, very lucky indeed. It is an absolutely fantastic production through a co-production, as you say, with Jonathan Church Theatre Productions, which is one of the part of the Trafalgar family. Jonathan also produced things like Singing in the Rain, a chorus line, Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe, that will be coming as well. So, lots and lots of really incredible, To Kill a Mockingbird, another one that will be coming too, and a real diverse range of different sorts of productions too. But yes, so it's all about getting those, as you say, those 5-star, really sumptuous, delicious program to come to Eastbourne is what we're about, really.
And it's unusual for a show that starts at Chichester to actually tour before potentially going into the West End. That's something of a first, I believe.
Yes, yeah, I think that is right. But we are very, very committed to wanting to tour as much as possible. I mean, we have a whole circuit of venues around the UK, and so as a producer and an operator of venues, we of course want the one to feed the other, and so we're very, very committed to producing not just for the West End or just for certain venues, but really to take that work throughout the country and beyond. We do a lot of international touring as well.
Well, yes, in my research, I see that you have venues around the globe.
We do. Well, we operate. That's right. The Theatre Royal in Sydney, where we're hoping to add others in Australia. We're in discussions about that. So very much, but we do tour a lot of content internationally, and not just to our own venues. We have got tours, as you say, all over the globe, which is exciting.
Fiddler on the Roof has been a huge success in London, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, it was quite a short run at the Barbican. It was there for only about 7 weeks, and it completely sold out and recouped its capital in those 7 weeks, which is astonishing. I think an astonishing achievement, but very, very well received. An absolutely fantastic production, and of course really exciting that it's got this lengthy tour around the UK, which is also selling extremely well.
And is it the entire production from the Barbican, or is it a slightly cut down version?
No, it was built. The production was built for the Barbican, but also to tour with the touring in mind, because I don't think you could justify for a 7-week run a whole different production. I'm not sure we could make those economics work. So absolutely, what people are seeing, in the venues around the country, is the same as what people would be seeing if they came to the Barbican.
I mean, one of the problems of touring major shows like that, of course, is the scale of the cast, the cost of a large company, the cost of them being away from home and looking after them. Does that make it very difficult for companies these days to tour a big show?
It does. I mean, it really does. It is very, very expensive, particularly post-COVID. The costs are really much higher than they were before. I think theatre tax relief is helping, and I think without theatre tax relief, we would be seeing a lot less product content touring than does. But even with theatre tax relief, which I say is a big help, you have to play to very high occupancies in order to be able to recoup the costs.
Well, listen, it's a very exciting time for Eastbourne, this new venture with you. I'm very excited about being able to come and see more shows in Eastbourne that I missed in London. I find it very difficult these days getting up to London. So I'm always excited to see when those big shows are on tour and accessible.
I absolutely agreed, and that is our model. Is maybe, you know, like to play things a bit like Singing in the Rain, playing at Sadler's Wells, and then touring. That is absolutely what we're aiming to do more of. So we hope very much to see you in Eastbourne at one of our shows very soon.
I will definitely be there, Helen. Thank you very much for joining me at Latest Television today. I very much look forward to meeting you in person at the Congress Theatre very soon.
Thank you, you too. Thank you.
If you have a local news story you would like to share with our viewers, please email us at news@thelatest.co.uk. Thank you for watching.